Okay, ready?
Okay.
Hey, Nick.
Hi, Sandy.
It's so great to have you guys here again. I'm going to let you just get started with it, Nick.
Thank you. Thank you. Hi, everyone. I am Nick Kretikos of Nick's Seasonal Decor with my sister Alex behind the camera. And tonight we have, of course, tons of Christmas bows for you all. So we're going to be using our large bow dabber that you see here, along with the silver roll of wire. And this roll of wire comes on a 100-yard spool, and 100 yards lasts a really long time. And this comes in both silver and gold. So let me just pull up the video, make sure everything is good on my end. It looks like that.
Hi, Jeannie.
Hey, Jeannie. So as you guys come in, don't forget that we will be doing a giveaway at the end of this video. And all you have to do is just let us know that you are here and that, you can see us good. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with the length of our wire. We are going to cut this as long as we think we need. So depending on your project, if you're doing a wreath, a garland, a lantern swag, you name it, you're going to want a rather long piece of wires. So I end up removing my wires in my photos because we do take photos of our bows. But when you secure this, you want to definitely have a long enough piece that you can secure it to whatever you're securing it to. So now that we have our wire cut, all we're going to do is just fold it over itself, place it right in the middle, and tuck it underneath. So I like to tuck my wires underneath my bow dabber to get them out of the way. Hey, Doreen. Mary says, hi, I really need your help with this. We got you covered tonight, Mary. It's Christmas time, you guys. It is full swing Christmas. We have so many designs to create. But most importantly, we got to show you how to make some bows, right? So this is a sheer ribbon, and I used to not love sheer ribbon, but I think that looks very pretty. Burgundy is one of my favorite colors. So I think this bow would be perfect for a Christmas tree. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off by cutting ahead of time a bunch of pieces of ribbon. These are about 24, 26 inches on either side, not either side, total. So you don't have to measure either. That is one thing. If I can get you guys thinking differently and just tell you one tip, it is to not sit there and measure. Trust me, I started with bow making, and when I first started, that is exactly what I did, and it got me nowhere. So my biggest tip for you guys is to just go with the flow. If you're a few inches off, it's not a big deal. Hey, Mindy.
Hi, Brenda. She loves her Bodabra.
Awesome, Brenda.
Hey, Pamela. She's watching from Orlando, Florida tonight. She says, so happy you are back on teaching us.
Thank you. And Bella will actually be in Orlando tomorrow.
Yes.
So we just said our goodbyes a few minutes before this. Can anybody here guess where our baby sister Bella is going tomorrow for the next couple of days? I just said Orlando, so I'm sure that's a dead giveaway. But let's see if you guys know where Bella's going. Now that we have a handful of pieces pre-cut, and I'm going to tell you guys kind of when to stop for a decent bow and when to continue adding for a fuller bow. But we're going to just take our ribbon. Here, these just happen to be lined up perfectly, but if one side is longer than the other, it's not going to make a difference. So this one's a little bit shorter. All we're going to do is pinch about 4.5 inches down. Since we folded the ribbon over, we're going to create a loop. See how easy that is? Now what we're going to do is place that into the middle of our bodabra. We've already placed our wire. As you can see, it's hidden because I just tuck it underneath to get it out of the way. And now it's just assembling it. So here we have our shorter tail. Here we have our longer tail.
Yes, you guys got it right. She's going to
Yes.
Disney.
Disney, that's right. And I haven't been to Disney, me or Alex, since, well, that's a lie. Alex went for a cheering competition a few years after me. Well, I wasn't cheering, but we took a family trip there as kids, and then Alex ended up going a few years later. But we're talking 15 years
Yeah,
anyway,
it's been a while.
even for when you went last. So how many of you guys have been to Disney before? Serena says, hi from North Carolina. Welcome. Thank you guys for tuning in. And as always, if you don't mind doing me a favor and let me know down below if you guys enjoy seeing me here on Bodabra, and hopefully a thumbs up if I have taught you a little something new. I might not have mastered bow making with each and every one of you guys, which of course is a goal. Right now we have 1, 2, 3, 4 loops. So if you wanted to stop at this point, you'd have a decently full bow. But we're going to keep with this. I want to work in a few more loops to really take this to the next level. So that's 5. Hey, Nancy. Let's work in 7 loops. Again, not measuring them, just cutting them at random lengths and working them in.
Carol says she has to use the bow maker because she can't hold ribbon in her hands. The bow maker has saved her.
Yeah, so if you struggle with holding bows, the Bodabra is a great alternative to your hands. Because look, you guys, hands-free, it's holding all of the ribbon in place, and we don't have to worry about holding the bow in place. So now I just want to show you guys some tool that comes with the Bowdabra, and you can find the supplies we're using today, including the large Bowdabra and both silver and gold wire at nickseasonaldecor.com. Each Bowdabra comes with this wand, and if you're seeing me use this, you're one of the lucky few that have seen me use it, because I don't use it a whole lot. And what this does is it compresses the ribbon. So if you have a lot of loops or a really thick ribbon, or you're doing a tree topper, it just makes it easier to compress. What I often do is I like to just do that. So there's so many different ways of achieving a beautiful bow, but you definitely want to compress it one way or another. That way, it's adding some tension to the ribbon, and it's keeping it in place and preventing it from sliding out. Now we just took the wire, fed it through one loop to the other side. Now what we're going to do is tighten this, flip our bow over, and tie it from behind. Hey, Barbara from Ohio, great to catch you live. Thank you, I'm glad you made it.
Hi, Linda. She came in a bit late, and she is wondering what the length you cut is for the ribbon.
The length for the ribbon's about 24 to 26 inches long.
Hi, Maxine.
Hey, Max, nice to see you. And I'll be seeing Max in a few minutes after this video. So thank you guys for tuning in. I know with the holidays right around the corner, it can be really busy, but I appreciate all of you guys that tune in and watch my videos. I appreciate it.
Jeannie says, I always enjoy when you're on. I love your creative talent and your teaching methods. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you, Jeannie. I appreciate that. So Tammy's from Canada. Welcome, Tammy. Me and Alex still haven't made the trip to Canada, but we definitely will one of these days.
We will, very soon.
Very soon. It's not too far away from us. Well, that's subjective, right? I think it's about a 7-hour drive, depending on where we end up.
Yeah, but that's not bad for us.
Not bad at all. But then again, we live in really small states, right? So if you're in Texas, it can take you 12 hours to drive from one side to the other. So we're lucky with our small states here. So just dovetailing these. If you guys haven't dovetailed your ribbons before, you are missing out. It really takes your ribbons to the next level. If you want to up your design skills, that really is the #1 thing for making your bow stand out. You know, you might struggle, and this bow as it is not fluffed out, but when you see those dovetails, it looks a whole lot more professional.
Hey, Toby.
Hey, Toby. Hey, Bonnie. Bonnie can't wait for date night. Me too, Bonnie.
Hi, Debbie, watching from Arkansas tonight.
From Arkansas. Welcome, Debbie. Me and Alex were in Arkansas last summer. We were in Little Rock for about however long it took for us to drive through it.
Yes.
Okay, so just fluffing it out. Here's a perfect example. See how much longer that this tail is right here versus this tail? It's just going to add depth to your bows, you guys. So don't be afraid, like I said in the beginning, to make your loops all different lengths and sizes, because trust me, it'll still turn out beautiful. So we have about 7 loops on this bow. So this is a decently full bow. Keep in mind it is sheer, but I've been loving sheer ribbon lately. So if you guys don't mind doing me a favor, even if you're watching from the future, or the replay, I should say, if you guys like sheer ribbon too, or if you don't, let me know down below. But I think that burgundy just really pops. What do you guys think? Hey, Sandra, nice to see you. All right, there is our first bow.
So
Isn't that pretty? So this you can place on top of a present. We don't have any presents yet. Me and Alex are really behind. We should have already done all of our Christmas shopping. But when the time comes, when we have some presents, I can show you guys how to hot glue these and add some greenery and whatnot. But there is bow #1. All right, next up. So Sherry loves sheer ribbon. I think that's a very pretty color, burgundy. So you prefer brighter reds versus burgundies, right?
Yeah, I like a brighter red. For Christmas, you mean?
For Christmas.
Yeah, I would say more of a brighter red.
So now we're going to cut another length of wire. Now that we have the wire cut, what we're going to do is just fold it in half so that we have one loop on one side, and then the other side is going to have cut edges like that. We can take our wire, place it right in the middle of the Bowdabra.
Hi, Sue, watching from Georgia tonight.
Hey, Sue, nice to see you. Thank you guys for the shares. I see we're at 231 live viewers. Let's see if we can hit 250. So if you guys don't mind hitting that share button, I would greatly appreciate it. In doing so, hopefully, we will be able to inspire other people on the art of bow making. So here is a pretty snowdrift edge ribbon. So this is a snowy edge. What we're going to do with this is a slightly different bow technique. So this is going to be our wreath bow, you guys. So let's start with some long tails. That looks good to me. So about 24 inches on either side, give or take. Now what we're going to do is just pinch that right in the middle and place it into our Bodabra, like so.
Bonnie says, glad to be able to catch you live. I misplaced my large Bodabra, so I'm using my mini Bodabra to make regular bows until the large one surfaces.
Yes, you'll find it. So now we're going to take our ribbon, we're going to flip it the wrong way. See how this is the back side? And that is the way we're going to place it into the Bodabra. But before we continue, I just want you guys to take note. See how much ribbon I have off to the other side? We never ever want to take our ribbon and place it right at the edge. What ends up happening, no matter how tight you have your wire, it'll slip right out when it comes time to fluff. So always leave yourself about ½ an inch or so. That way there's some wiggle room in case you really tug on that loop when you're fluffing it. So now I like to rotate my Bodabras, which can make it a little bit difficult, especially if you have long tails. So an easy trick is just to roll those up, and that way they're not so long and they're not kind of grabbing the table.
Barbara asked, how would you make a bow for the top of a Christmas tree? Just got my Bodabra and learning watching you.
Awesome. Yes, so I would do exactly what I'm doing here without the tails and then just longer loops. So this bow that we're making, and again, I'm just rotating my Bodabra. This bow would be, I'd say this would work great for a 4-foot tree. What do you think, Alex?
Yeah, definitely.
4 or 5-foot tree. It doesn't have to be a massive bow.
We have Teresa from Ireland who says, it's good to see you making bows with a Bodabra. I purchased one and I need to practice this.
Awesome. I'm here to help you guys. That red ribbon is a knockout. Isn't this beautiful? So we're going to just continue making lots and lots of loops. So these loops are about 3.5, 4 inches. And I see you guys, we just hit 310 live viewers. So I just want to thank you guys so much for tuning in. And we will be live here on Bodabra. I forget what date. Is it next Monday? I know Sandy's here, so Sandy will be able to let us know when we will be
I
live.
am blanking out. I'm sorry. Another Monday this
Another
month.
Monday
I
this
know
month.
for sure.
So you guys get to see my handsome face twice this month. What type
The
of fabric?
20th.
I am not sure. I am not sure, Melissa.
It is
Well,
next
velvet.
week.
It's velvet.
Oh, I heard Sandy. I just couldn't hear exactly what she said.
The 20th.
The
The
20th.
20th.
Okay.
Thank you, Sandy. Let's all take a second and thank Sandy for telling us. So now we're going to take those wires and tie it from behind.
Linda asks, is there 2 sizes of the Bodabra?
Yeah, so there's the mini and the large. We carry the large with both colors of wire, but the mini is great for smaller bows, hair bows, finer detailed bows where you just need something smaller. But somebody just said that they were using it for their large bows tonight. So I'm sure you still can create decently sized bows using it. So this is our bow. I see we're almost at 350. Let's see if we can hit that milestone tonight. Clean up our table, which just involves me blowing all of the dovetails on the ground.
Or directly at me.
Or directly at Alex. So here we have a flocked wreath. What we're going to do is take our bow and secure it to the wreath. From Lincolnton, North Carolina, just bought my Bodabra. Hopefully I can learn from watching you. Yes, Marcine, that is what I'm here for. I'm here and happy to help. So I'm going to pull those wires to the back, and then I'm going to bring them back to the front. See what I'm doing here? Just bringing them to the front.
Mary says, oh, thanks. Just saw how you did the wire.
Yes, it makes life so much easier. And truth be told, when I first started using the Bodabra, which we're talking, 2011 or so, I used to add my wires after. So there's just so many different ways, right? Because that worked for me. It's just easier doing it the way we've been doing it. So fluff open your bow. This is wired ribbon, so it holds its shape, and the wires keep it exactly where you want it.
Sue loves her Bodabra.
Awesome, Sue. I'm glad to hear that. Then we have our long tails, which we curled up. Fluff it open. We can pull these long tails down. I think I'm going to have my bow swoop down below like that. And then we have some decorative sprays and picks. So to work these in, all I'm going to do is I'm going to take them, place them in, and instead of using hot glue, which you guys see me use a whole lot, this is our first time using an evergreen frame here on Bodabra. And an evergreen frame, you can just twist tie them right to the frame, and now it's nice and secured, so you don't have to worry about that popping off. So we place one there, and we have a couple more of those. Here we have another smaller one, but let's work with our larger one next. And this one has a long, long stem. So if you want to end up using this elsewhere or put in your planters or save it for the next year if you like to switch out your decor, look, you can just take it, work it behind, and you're not going to see that stem at all.
Hi, Donna, watching from Tennessee tonight.
Hey, Donna, nice to see you. Thank you for tuning in.
Linda says evergreen wreaths are gorgeous.
Aren't they? So this is a flocked evergreen wreath.
Patricia says just learning, love the tutorials.
Thank you, Patricia. So there's one side of it. We also have another little one. We're going to place this underneath our tails and tie it in. So just using the evergreen tips and twisting them right around. Hey, Suzanne. So here is the larger one. All I'm going to do is just bend that to shape. And instead of snipping it, which these thick stems can be real difficult to snip, right, Alex?
Yes.
Sometimes you guys have seen me here on Bodabra struggle with that. And I give my all, you guys. I try, but sometimes the stems are real thick. So just bend that to shape, fluff everything out. Here we have our long tail again. Yes, flocked reeds, I do agree, Sherry. Flocked reeds do look great with red and white ornaments or picks and ribbon. Sprinkled the Christmas joy. Thank you, Barbara.
Carolyn says, I love the way you use the tips. I learned so much from you. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. How many of you guys are learning something new tonight? Let's see some hands. And here we have a very easy wreath. We do have one more of these sprays. I'm thinking the side. What do you think, Al?
Yeah.
So I'm going to just take our bow, lift it up, and just tuck it underneath. And then again, grab those twist ties that came with the frame and secure it. And then you have an easy peasy, lemon squeezy, red and white, candy themed wreath.
So pretty.
What do you guys think of that? And you can fluff more and you can adjust. You can add a sign, any other embellishments, ornaments. These are more sprays or picks, right? So, but you can work in those cheap ornaments from the dollar store, from Walmart, just to spruce it up even more. But look at how easy. Super easy, and each and every one of you guys, even if you've never designed before, can absolutely make this, no doubt about it. So there is our simple wreath. Let's get back to bow making. So here is again our large Bodabra. If you're just tuning in and you haven't seen this before, it does make life easier to make bows. So we're going to be using our silver Bodabra wire. We're going to cut a length of this wire. The ribbon makes you smile. Thank you, Shirley.
Deborah says, love it, Nick. Beautiful.
Thank you. Barbara always learns a lot every time she watches. Thank you, Barbara. Get them all hype me up. We have the best people.
We do.
Okay, so this time I thought we would do old school. You guys know how much I love my burlap. How many of you guys know not so much these days, right? Not so much. But I used to go crazy over burlap. So this is a Christmas version with red edge. And what we're going to do is something different. So we're going to cut the length of our tails again. Bartlettsville, Oklahoma, says Sharon. Welcome, Sharon. And to dovetail your longer tails, if you guys haven't done that before, we're going to just take our tails, line them up, fold in half, and cut from the middle out towards the wired edge at an angle. So there's three different things you can do. You can cut at an angle all the way across. You can also just leave it blunt, going straight across, and then curl it. How many of you guys have seen me curl my ribbon tails? Or you can do what we did here, which is just to dovetail them on either side. But you never want to just have that blunt edge without doing one of those three. Now we're going to take our tails, work them in the Bodabra.
Pierrot says, love watching you. Just came from the craft store.
Awesome. I'm sure you did some damage there. So what we're going to do is we're going to work in our ribbon. And yes, let us know where you guys are watching from. You might be our lucky winner tonight for a free roll of scrunchy ribbon. But you can find your Bodabra and your wires from nicksseasonaldecor.com. What we're going to do is loops on either side that are about 4 inches and tuck them in. So this bow is going to be a little bit different because it's going to have more depth than that traditional bow we just made. So we're going to do 3 on either side.
Hey, Jeannie from Tennessee.
Hey, Jeannie.
We have Kim from New Hampshire right next door.
Right next door, yes. That's where the warehouse is, Kim. And some of you guys might be like, oh, wow, you live in Massachusetts. So like I said in the beginning of this video, we live in small states. So there is our third. We'll do 3 on each side. Look at how pretty this is. So even though this is, I wouldn't say true Christmas, this absolutely works for a rustic Christmas. This also works for a rustic Valentine's Day. I think this would look great year round, right? It's just a generic ribbon.
Mm-hmm.
So let me know if you guys are a fan of burlap ribbons too, because I've always loved them. So there's 3 loops. Now we're going to come back in and we're going to do 2 loops a little bit smaller. See how that's a little bit smaller? So this one is going to be about 2.5 inch. So there's our 2 loops, one on either side. And then we're going to take what's left. I'm going to just snip it a little bit shorter because the final loop is known as
The button loop.
the button loop. And the whole point of a button loop is just to cover up the wire in the middle. So that little button loop just covers it up and adds a nice finishing touch. So in case you didn't see how I took the wire out and secured the bow, we're going to have the loop on one end and we're going to have the cut end on the other side. We're going to take those wires, pull them to the middle.
Ooh, Stacy just got her Bodabra in the mail.
Awesome, Stacy. Tie it off.
Jeannie said that ribbon would look awesome on a gingerbread wreath.
That's true too. That's a great point, Jeannie. Hello, newbie here. Welcome. Tiered tray, DIY, and more. Tie it from behind, just a normal knot, right? So I like to do 2 or 3 to ensure that it's not going anywhere, because the worst thing that can happen, right, is that your bow falls apart. If you're making it yourself, that is okay. But I know we have a lot of people watching, like myself, that sell their designs, or even if you're just giving it to friends and family. Nobody wants the bow to fall apart. So to fluff it, all we're going to do is pull either side, open those loops up, separate them, and look at how pretty this bow just turned out. These tails are a little bit curly tonight, huh?
Betty asked, does it help to move the Bodabra back and forth?
Great question. So that is what I do. So it works best for me. But like any tool in your shop, right? So I showed you guys the Bodabra wand. This is a great innovative idea to be able to compress your ribbon, but I don't use it. So every tool, scissors, wire snips, you're going to have to kind of figure out what works best for you and your hands. So I have found rotating it works best for me. And a lot of you guys have shared this, feedback that it works for you guys too. So if you've tried making bows and it hasn't worked in your favor in the past, try rotating your Bodabra. Who knows, it might work for you. And look at that. What do you guys think of this bow? So show some hearts if you guys like this. Yes, the Bodabra is awesome for for those of you that have arthritis or carpal tunnel. I do agree. It does keep the bow and your ribbons in place.
I love this ribbon.
Me too. So thank you guys. I love that ribbon too. I love that technique. So now what we're going to do is let's do a bow using this ribbon. So this one's like a snowy plaid. We're going to have to start by cutting a length of wire.
Barbara says such a beautiful bow.
Thank you, Barbara. Manchester United Kingdom, says Geraldine. Welcome, Geraldine. We're going to take that wire, place it right in the middle of our Bodabra. And for this one, we're not going to work in long tails. We're going to just work in loops. So this one would be the ultimate present bow, or anywhere bow, right? Bows can go anywhere.
Well, this one's pretty because it has the shimmer of the snow, if you guys can see.
Yeah, it's got some snow to it.
It's pretty.
We're going to continue making a bunch of loops. So just by not working in the tail, which is the long piece underneath, it creates for a totally different look. So try mixing it up. If you ever feel like you're bored of the same styles, try mixing it up. Different widths, different colors. You're able to do a whole lot.
Suzanne says, I've had a Bodabra for a while, but I've never used it because I didn't know how. Thank you so much for this.
Yes, Suzanne. Yes, bring out that old Bodabra and put it to use. Christmas is here, you guys. Even if you don't design, you'll be the talk of the town if you're able to create a bunch of bows. So whatever's left on this spool, we are going to make. This is about 3.5 inch loops on either side. Gonna pull off the roll. There we go. And finish it up. We should be able to squeeze 2 more loops out of this. And our final loop. There we go. Work it in. Since we already have our wire, again, I just scrunched my ribbon down. We're going to take our wire, pull it to the middle.
Donna loves the plaid. Pam loves the ribbons you're using tonight.
Thank you, Pam.
Suzanne asks, what is the width of your ribbon?
This is a 2.5-inch ribbon. So we're going to just tie it off now.
Oh, and it looks like we have our winner tonight. And our winner is actually watching here live on Facebook. And it is Rebecca Espinoza. Congratulations, Rebecca.
Yes, let's all congratulate Rebecca.
So you can see right here that Bodabra has pinned a comment for you, Rebecca. So you can go ahead and private message them right here on Facebook and let them know which color you would love.
Yes, and the color options are red, silver, and gold. So let's all take a second and congratulate Rebecca.
Congratulations.
So now we're just fluffing it out. And like I said, totally different effect. So here is, you know how I told you to have a little bit of an overhang? This was the top loop, so we only had this much ribbon left from the roll. We don't need it to be that long. So you just need about 1/2 inch or so to prevent you from accidentally pulling it out and ruining your bow. Pull apart those loops. Everything gets a good fluff. And look at how pretty. So a traditional bow minus the tails. And actually, Alex, you can actually place these on the ends of your tree branches too, right?
Yeah.
I think a 1.5 inch might be a little bit more, well, depending on the size of your tree. And just letting these sit or rest on the top without the tails down below. And that way you can have some of your expensive ornaments kind of show through underneath. So that's just a simple little idea for you guys. Because again, there's so many different ways. So it looks like we have about 4 minutes left. So let's squeeze in one more bow tutorial. And this bow tutorial is going to be the one that I talked about last time we were live here on Bodabra. So we're going to get another length of our wire. We're going to get that brownish gold with red on edges. So all of the products we're using today you can find at nixseasonaldecor.com, including the Bodabra, the silver wire, as well as gold wire. So we used gold wire for months until we ran out.
Yes. Suzanne says, that's what I want to do, make bows for my tree.
Actually, let me show you something exciting. Let's do that poinsettia. That's what I was trying to do. Yes, Suzanne, and if you end up making some bows for your trees, or for any of you guys looking for additional inspiration, additional ideas, all of that good stuff, you can join both the Bodabra fan gallery as well as the Nick Seasonal Decor crafting community for added inspiration. We have lots of designers in both groups that create beautiful bows using the Bodabra.
Toby asks, what kind of wire is that? And Suzanne asks, what gauge is the wire?
Great question. So I'm unsure of the gauge, but it's a 100-yard spool of Bodabra wire. So this comes in both silver as well as gold. So what we're going to do here is we're going to cut a bunch of pieces, and I'm dovetailing these as we work them in. And you can actually cut these in a different way, which we're going to do with the petals. So I wanted to show you guys little dovetail. These are going to be our leaves. I'm going to show you how to make a poinsettia. You guys aren't ready for this. So if you've watched us before, you know how cute this turns out. But if you haven't, you're going to be blown away. Well, maybe not, but you're going to be excited to work this into your own bows. So cutting a bunch of little pieces. You can make this as big or as small as you would like, depending on, where you're going to display it.
These would be cute to work into a tree.
Very cute for a tree too. That's a great point.
If you guys have started decorating your trees, what color schemes are you doing this year for Christmas?
And the reason Alex is asking that is because we got to decorate our trees.
We got to figure out what we're doing for ours.
So we're doing one tree that's red and gold. That's a guarantee because it's already up. But let us know what you guys are doing, and we might actually steal what you guys do. So now I'm going to do what Alex infamously used to do in the beginning, and that is not to dovetail. So usually we cut from the middle out towards the wired edge. I'm going to flip this in the opposite direction and cut it at a point, like a flower petal. So again, it's going to take some, is that right? That's right. It's going to take some getting used to because we don't like to do that with our bows, but we want to do it with this bow. So again, fold in half and cut from the wire out towards the middle. That sounds weird. I'm all discombobulated now.
Ooh, Pierrette says black, gold, and emerald.
Ooh, that sounds very pretty.
Suzanne says one tree is green and gold. We have Sherry says ivory and gold.
That sounds very, very pretty. Make sure you guys share some pictures with us.
Yes.
Both Bodabra and us would love to see what you guys come up with. So Donna's been using the Bodabra for about 15 years. I love it. Makes great multiple ribbon bows. I completely agree with you there, Donna. And I've been using it for about the same amount of time as well. So I started using the Bodabra, I want to say around 2011. So not quite as long as 15 years, but up there, right?
Kimberly says she decorated her 3-foot tree with a small version of these last year. It was so cute.
Ooh, that sounds very cute. Yeah, you can do these, like I said, in whatever size ribbon you want. So 1.5 inch is the one we're using now. 2.5 inch, you could be doing 4 inch. Think of how pretty that would be in a tree, a 4 inch poinsettia. So I keep messing this up. I want to make sure I'm not doing it wrong, you guys. So there is 4 tails, which is the green, which is 4, 5, 6 will give you this size bow. Now we're going to take our wire.
Are we okay on your end?
Yeah.
Looks like we're frozen.
Frozen. It just froze. There we go.
Oh,
Are we back?
sorry, guys. Are we back in
We're back, you
action?
guys. We're back. Sorry about that, you guys. And I see over 350 people. How awesome is that for our grand finale? So thank you guys so much for tuning in tonight. I appreciate all of you guys. And if you're watching the replay, let us know too. Hopefully I taught you something new. So we're going to remove our wire. And it already looks like a flower so far. But all we're going to do is just pull apart those petals. And look, none of them are the same length. Doesn't have to be perfect. Pull
This
apart
bow works great in
these.
the mini Bodabra too.
Yes, this definitely would work great in the mini Bodabra. This one might be a little bit long. Just trim that off a little bit. There we go.
So cute.
What do you guys think of that? And another thing you can do is add like little berries in the middle of it. So I don't see any here, but a good idea to try. Work in a couple little gold berries right in the middle, and you have a poinsettia. What do you guys think? Show some hearts if you like that. And you can play around with the petals too to arrange them and get them looking like an actual poinsettia, which we just bought 2 massive poinsettias. Did you see them yet, Al?
Mm-mm.
In the living room? They're hard to miss.
Oh,
The big red flowers.
oh, the big ones. Yes.
Yes.
No, I did see. Those are big.
So that is how that bow turned out. And I just wanted to show you guys, I have these little red
Oh,
berries.